Well, howdy there, folks, and welcome into today's video. First off, thank you so much for joining me. As always, today we're going to talk about Warren Buffett's top 4 stocks by a mile right now, okay? Of their portfolio over there at Berkshire Hathaway, he is extremely invested in these 4 stocks that I want to discuss in today's video. So if you didn't know, I want to share something with you that's going on this weekend. By the way, if you want to join Stock Hub, it'll be pinned comment down there. If you want to join my private stock group in the private Discord chat, second pinned comment down there, okay? If you didn't know, this is going on this weekend, okay? Berkshire Hathaway's annual 2021 meeting. And so this is very exciting, right? Basically Warren Buffett talks about a lot of different things, including they get to kind of show what their biggest positions are. And they're extremely invested in these 4 stocks. And I mean practically like 70% of the portfolios in these 4 stocks. So they might own 40 or 50 stocks, but let's be very clear. These 4 stocks are what moves the portfolio for Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, okay? These are their big investments, their big dog investments, okay? And so I want to share these investments with you, and then I want to kind of give my perspective on these stocks and kind of, talk a little bit about that. And Warren Buffett, I'll be honest, I would not be in the place I am today if it wasn't for Warren Buffett. Like when I was getting in the market in 2008, 2009, he was the first person I really publicly heard that things started to click, and it really excited me about a stock market investing. Before that, I was a little lost. I was looking at it and I was like, well, I heard you can make money in the stock market, and I was kind of finding people here and there, but I really wasn't latching onto anything, and no one was honestly making much sense until I found Warren Buffett. And so I'm a big believer in giving people their roses while they're still here to enjoy it. Everybody wants to wait until somebody's dead to say something good about them. And I'm just one of those people that I'm going to show the love while they're still here. And Warren Buffett, there's no doubt, there's no way I'm in front of you today if it's not for Warren Buffett. He was the first person that really spoke to me in a way where I started actually understanding stocks and started on this endeavor. And a lot of my core investing philosophies and beliefs honestly come from Warren Buffett at the end of the day. So I appreciate the guy in a huge way. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you don't mind, smash that thumbs up. That's all I ask for in return for this video. Hope you guys enjoy this as always, and let me know what you guys think about these 4 stocks, okay? First stock up here of these 4 stocks is the Coca-Cola Company, KO. So the KO, you guys should know the KO, okay? Pretty much biggest drink company in the entire world. Very focused on drinks. And drinks, I want to say almost solely, okay? That's their big thing, right? And it's not just, some people think they just own Coca-Cola and, Diet Coke and Coke Zero and some products like that. No, they own a ton of different soda products, but also they're invested in, or they either own 100% of or have substantial positions in a ton of other drink makers out there. And this is something very important to keep in mind. Even Monster Energy, they're a huge investor in Monster Energy nowadays. They own a substantial portion of Monster Energy now. And you just look at if you go to any convenience store pretty much in the world, but certainly in the United States of America, but even in the world, there could be 50% of the products in that convenience store in the drink section could be from Coca-Cola, okay? It is immense when you start looking into how many companies this company owns or owns part of. It is ridiculous, okay? And so, this is an investment they really haven't been adding much to for decades. And so they invested in this back in the 80s. So I'll take a softer approach with this one because this was a great investment in the 80s. Now, do I think this is a great investment today? I wouldn't call it a great investment today. It's not my cup of tea today. I can tell you that. The big growth of this company is long gone, right? It just is. The huge growth, their main products are soda products, right? What's going on with soda products? If anything, people are kind of starting to move away from those products, right? It's, back in the 80s and 90s, man, it was, if you had a get together with people or did anything, right? It was you had soda there. That was just the thing, right? Coke or Pepsi, but most people had Coke, right? And I can just tell you nowadays, especially, seeing in my generation, the millennial generation, and never mind the next generation on the come up right now, I'm definitely seeing a lot more of these folks not even choose to drink any soda product, whether it's a diet soda product or a regular soda product. However, The Coca-Cola, remember, they're investing into a ton of companies that are on the come up in the drink space. And also, don't be surprised if this company invests into whatever your favorite beverage is. They might invest into it over time. And they even own water brands like Dasani, okay? So something to keep in mind there. Coca-Cola, they like to just look at what are people drinking? What are people likely going to drink? Let's buy the Canadian company, okay? Or let's try to invest in part of it, right? And make a deal there. But, it trades out a 24, 25 PE. I mean, I don't know. It's just not a stock that excites me personally at all, to be honest. I feel like if I'm looking at the stock, I'm like, it's okay. I could probably make some money on it over the next 10 years. I'll probably get a little share appreciation and I'll probably get some dividend income. But is this going to be a game changer stock for me or even remotely close to it over the next 10 years? I highly doubt it. There's just, can I see this market cap going from 230 billion to, I don't know, 690 billion over the next decade? Highly unlikely. All things are possible, but highly unlikely. And also keep in mind in the short term, from my understanding, can cost is going up rapidly right now because of the what it takes to make a can essentially right now. And so that is something that keyword is could potentially hurt Coca-Cola. And also I'm hearing rumors that, other things are getting more expensive that go into transportation costs. And so that is also something that could hurt Coca-Cola because it ends up hurting the end company in the end, right? In the short term, it just could hurt like whoever's distributing it, which is another subsidiary of Coca-Cola, which I believe they split off the bottling service now, if I recall. But needless to say, I feel like it's a very okay investment today. But back in the 80s, man, hey, well done. They made a successful investment. It's their fourth biggest position. It's absolutely massive, okay? The third biggest position up here is American Express, AXP. I like this one. Is it a stock I'm going to run out there and buy? Not necessarily, but I will say I like this one being their third biggest position. I mean, it's American Express. You want to talk about a company that is all over the place, running transactions all over the place. At least for the foreseeable future, I can't see this company getting replaced. Obviously, they're in a competitive space, right? Everybody wants to have folks have their credit card, right? And so they're in a competitive space, but honestly, at the end of the day, it's somewhat of a monopolized industry, right? There's a few big players, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and that's just the way it is. And, American Express keeps getting those fees a million different ways. They have a very loyal customer base there, right? Very loyal customer base. It's what I would call generally a pretty dang safe business model, right? Regardless of what's going on. And if the economy thrives over time on a global basis, American Express is likely going to thrive, over time on a global basis. So I like this investment. I don't love it. I don't think this is like the best investment in the world, but I'll say I like it. I like it. It's very, very solid here. And I'll say this number 3 investment, I like it a whole lot more than number 2 investment because the number 2 biggest investment they have is also somewhat financial related. But what I love about this company is I think it is the creme de la creme, arguably, in their space. And I appreciate that when it comes to American Express. I really do. When you're just so well run, and I mean, you look at American Express over the last number of decades, this company has been incredibly well run, right? Throws off dividends. The company is just, I like it. Like I said, I like it. And I like it a lot more in this next stock up here, okay? Let's get into their second biggest investment of the bunch. Bank of America, BAC, second biggest investment. Oh, man. I don't like it. I'll be honest. I don't like it. I understand why Warren Buffett wants to be heavily invested in this company, massive bank. Likely, if the United States of America does well over time, Bank of America is going to do well over time, right? I mean, I just don't like it. It's a $350+ billion market cap. I feel like there's a lot of disruption going on in the financial space right now. I feel like Bank of America is one of the slowest banks to react. I mean, I could understand if they had JPM, as their second biggest investment. I could be like, okay, Bank of America, it feels like, I don't know. I just don't like that one as the second biggest investment. I mean, it's hard for me to see this company double up over the next 5 years. All things are possible. It's just hard for me to get there, right? It's already trading at a forward P of 14, 15 range, and they're a company thriving right now. The good news for the banks, and I will say this, okay? The good news for the banks, the government pretty much has their back, right? Anything goes down, the government pretty much has their back, and that's really, really, really good news for Bank of America. So that takes some risk out of it. And so from that standpoint, I understand it. I feel like Bank of America is not the most well run. I feel like they are the number 2, number 3 player in this space, and I'm just like, to be your second biggest investment, and from my understanding, Bank of America is their second biggest investment, and by quite a margin too, between them and the number 3. I'm just like, Bank of America. It's so. I understand, like I said, I understand Warren Buffett wanted to invest in it because it's a huge market cap, so you can add a substantial share, right? And you're okay. And it's going to likely throw you off some dividends over time. It's going to likely do better than cash does over time. So, Berkshire Hathaway, they have a bit of a cash problem there. They have too much cash. They have too much cash at Berkshire Hathaway, okay? So I can understand that. It's just, it's just not my cup of tea, and I just don't think it's the best investment out there, especially to be a number 2 investment at Bank of America. I'm just like, man. So yeah, that's Bank of America, okay? Now let's get into their biggest investment. Now, let's be very clear. This investment represents, I believe, over a third of their entire stock portfolio, Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, okay? So, I mean, we're talking about this position crushes any other position by a mile they have in their portfolio. It's by far and away the most important stock for Warren Buffett and for Berkshire Hathaway. And like I said, by a mile, and that is Apple, okay? Apple Corporation. I love this as their biggest investment, I will say, okay? Is it my biggest investment? No, I'm not even invested in Apple, okay? I'm invested in semiconductor companies that do business with Apple, and those companies do well if Apple's generally doing well and things like that over the long term. During the short term, it can be shaky. But, I mean, Apple, I can't say anything bad about this. What am I going to say? They just reported 10 out of 10 earnings. I'm an Apple fanboy to the utmost, right? I'm recording this on my MacBook right now. If my iPhone breaks, I go buy another iPhone. If my iPad's not fast enough, I go buy another iPad. I got Macs, I got AirPods. I'm just like, I'm Apple through and through, right? So I love this. I'll be honest. I love this as their number 1 investment. They invested in this company when it had a market cap of hundreds of billions of dollars. It was a great investment. They're going to continue to likely make a lot of money in this stock over the coming years. Do I think this is going to be the top performing big tech stock? No. I think Facebook will. And Google might even outperform Apple as well, in my opinion. We'll see about that. There's no doubt in my mind Facebook will outperform, but you're not going to be able to explain like Facebook to Warren Buffett and like they get it, right? Apple's much easier business model to understand if you're trying to understand business models, and I like it. I really do. Like Apple's going to likely continue to increase revenues, profits. It doesn't matter. Users, any metric you pretty much want to look at, I can almost guarantee you they'll all be higher in 3 or 5 years from now than they are today. And so from that standpoint, I like Apple. They're, like I said, this company's putting up insane numbers right now. I mean, absolutely incredible numbers. They had just reported 10 out of 10 earnings. The company's loaded to the sky with cash. They throw off great dividends for Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. They buy back shares left and right. They just announced a huge buyback, right? And I believe they upped their dividend as well. So Apple, 100%, I understand this one. I like this one as their biggest investment. It makes sense. It's a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, so they can easily, if they want to add more shares, they can. If they ever want to sell off some shares down the road, they can easily without taking the whole stock down. It's so perfect, and they have 12 figures invested in the stock. Their position in Apple is worth 12 figures, okay? Meaning worth over $100 billion. Yeah, it's insane. I'm an investor at Berkshire Hathaway, by the way. I am. And so, and obviously I'm a huge fan of Warren Buffett. So yeah, this one I like as their biggest investment. I think it makes a lot of dang sense, because if it's going to be their biggest investment, they're going to probably have 12 figures in it, and there's not many companies you're going to have 12 figures in. And like I said, the FB, they're not going to buy the FB. There's no way you're going to explain that business model to them, and they're going to get it and understand why that's going to thrive over time. Apple's very easy to understand. Good job, Warren Buffett. I like this as their number one position. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, maybe they should buy some Tattoo Chef. Yeah, no, it's just wishful thinking. Okay, wishful thinking. They couldn't even add Tattoo Chef. It's like $1 billion market cap that would just like be up 1,000,000%. Okay. Anyways, much love as always, guys. Don't forget to smash. Leave me a comment on what you think of their stocks, and peace. By the way, if you want to join us on Stock Hub, it's free. First link in the description.